Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another match here as we continue on in the ESL Pro Tour. This is the third week of the weekly cups. Lots of people were so curious what's going to happen in StarCraft in 2020. And how awesome is it that we have 3 years of StarCraft 2 guaranteed, not having to worry about what is going to be what or how it's going to work. You've got a brand new circuit, the ESL Pro Tour, DreamHack Masters as well, and the ESL Pro Tour weekly cups. These are awesome. These are fantastic. And we're here in the Americas finding out who is going to be taking home those Pro Tour points. In the top right, we have our red Zerg player representing Team Chivo. He is Cham. He faces off against the blue Terran, a name that should be familiar to many in the bottom left. He is Polt. Been an interesting time for Polt. Many remember him for his numerous WCS championships back before he had to go to the military. He did finally come back, and it's been an interesting time for Polt because he's certainly been a little bit slow to get back to his previous form. And I think a part of that has to do with, as well, just the fact that Polt has never really been a very mech-heavy player. And at least in the Terran versus Zerg games that I've been able to see of his, he's still sticking with a lot of those bio, like mass bio, trying to do a lot of crazy micro. And, well, you know, sometimes it's like trying to watch a 34-year-old running back in the NFL hurdle over Nick Bosa, right? It's just, you just can't, you know. Sometimes a lot of the discussion around Polt's play, people have been curious, how good is he? They asked the infamous John Wick question, are you back? Is he really back though? And we're all kind of waiting to see that moment where Polt says, yeah, I'm thinking I'm back. So a good Terran versus Zerg. And if there's one thing I can say about him, it's that it does take time to kind of get back into that form. He's gone for years, unable to really put in that same level of practice, that same level of play. He has been back to streaming. But he's a player that I hope to see grow in a different way, because beating people to death with your superb mechanics is just going to be a little bit harder as you get older, as you get a little bit less opportunities to practice, you know. And Cham, still young rapscallion, you could say. This Reaper, by the way, did a pretty good job of delaying the base, forced the second queen to walk out, and had to cancel an extractor. Now Polt is doing probably the most standard opening in Terran versus Zerg right now. At Reaper expand, you build the command center, you get the second depots, go to Hellions, no second gas until after the third CC starts. Some Terrans put the third command center up front to wall. He does not this game. I assume because he didn't want an Overlord scout to possibly see it at the front. But that's the Polt we all know, is he's gonna go bio. I don't know if Polt's actually started doing the battlecruiser rush stuff. I tragically have not been able to watch a tremendous number of his games since he returned. I was watching a bit of his matches in the IEM qualifier the previous week, and he got rocked. He got rocked by some Zergs. I think I was watching him. Was it the Wardy League this week? He was playing versus Lambo, and he was just trying to beat Lambo to death with pure biome. And I think a lot of people agree these days that mech is definitely way stronger than it used to be. A huge part of that is to the Thor. And in case anybody, you know, you've been a little bit busy, haven't been able to check out too much of what's been going on. These Hellions come in to harass. Man, the Thor got so buff. Originally they were like, yeah, let's give it more armor. And then they're like, no, we don't really like this. They took away the armor, and then they gave it a way faster but low damage attack. But they raised the overall DPS so that armor wouldn't ruin its faster attack like the battlecruiser. And the Thor has just become this mega broodlord killing machine. And you know, for the most part, if you're a Zerg player, your dream fantasy the last 10 years is just get to broodlord infester, but they also got rid of the infested Terran. The only reason why I'm going on about this so much is A, nothing really much has happened too far yet in this game, but also Polt's just not the kind of guy that does that. He's going to play that. He's going to play that bio style all the way down. I want to see him break out some mech. I want to see him flex that wonderful mind of his, always being known as one of the smarter players in StarCraft during his reign of terror, which is long since gone. So let's see what he does. It's a pretty quick 2-1-1 follow-up with that 1-1 upgrade to come in behind it. Just send the double medevacs out. Cham has already taken the 4th base. It is done. Nothing is there yet to defend it. The creep is starting to spread and will connect these bases. Now, can this 15 Marine drop get some serious damage done? It's just Stim with 2 medevacs to support. Now, we do have very greedy opening from Cham. I mean, he's been droning. He's been droning so hard, even Rhett was like, slow down, brother. But now 30 Zerglings getting cranked out to try and protect this base. Is it too late? It looks like yes. He manages to kill the hatchery. He does manage to pick off the hatchery there. Nice to see. So he's able to get himself a little bit of early pressure. This base was already started during that time, though. So Cham's just saying, yeah, you want to kill that hatch? That's fine. I've got another one already going. I'm going to immediately take this one back. Now, for the Zerg players out there, if you're playing against a bio like this, I love what he's doing here, right? Straight to Hydras, Hydraling Bane. Bane speed's about to finish, which is going to make it way harder for Polt to get damage done, especially if he can get the creep out there. Gets a kill on the hatch. Oh, man. Well, here I am hyping up Cham, and no cancel on that hatch is going to make that a little bit of a tougher blow to sustain. He continues to morph a ton of Banes. As Polt scans that natural and he's looking, well, there's really not a whole lot to see. It's just a layered tech game at the moment. Not even an infestation pit started yet. So he's just thinking about that, getting the range upgrade for the Hydralisks and then the speed upgrade for the Hydralisks. Spread the creep, play defensively, play reactively. Polt's got his 3rd base up and running. It's become quite a bit more difficult since the Hydraling Bane meta for bio to really do those mega pushes into the Zerg. The days of bio versus Mutiling Bane are long behind us, and we kind of hit this meta where Zergs just build insane numbers of Lings, but Polt, he saves those early Hellions. He's got some Hellbats to help work against it, so really a lot of it's going to come down to the Banelings. So let's see what Cham can do defensively here. Polt's going to make that first big push out. He starts his 4th command center behind this. But if this gets wiped without killing a base and some drones, I don't know, man. I think Polt's going to be in a world of hurt. He's got a good spread out over here. Cham's starting to set up some Lings, ready to flank, adding more Banes. The Hydralisks do have the range upgrade. And he's just trying to set himself up for the gnarliest arc of all time. And here he comes. Lings hitting from the south, hitting from the west, hitting from the south on the west. He's hitting from the west and the north. Sorry, guys. I'm really bad with my internal compass. Great Marine split, though. Survives the Banelings, but... big but, there are Hydralisks. And that's really what makes this composition so good for the Zerg is, yeah, you got the Lings and Banes, but the Hydralisks are going to give me way more sustain to pick off your last few units than Mutalisks would. So like back in the day before Hydras were good, if you're trying to just use Mutalisks to fight against those last 10 Marines, usually those last 10 Marines would kill every single one of your Mutalisks because Marines are very good, especially against Mutalisks. And they're also good against Hydras, but those Hydras are just going to be a little bit harder to punch through since their DPS and their range is so good. And really, just staying on the creep makes it so hard to punch through. So Polt is trying to clear out some of the creep in the northeast. He's going to get a few more of these tumors, but he hasn't really been able to get any crazy damage done. A single drone killed this whole entire game. He did get the hard kill on the hatchery, but he was able to take this space at the same time. So I think Cham is feeling pretty good about himself. We got the hive starting up now. I will say this, though. Polt's upgrades have been really nice. So 2-2 only just started for Cham. And mind you, since he's building Hydras, he can't get upgrades for him if he wants to upgrade his Lings. Because going for 3 evolution chambers, well, that's crazy. It's never been done before. Now Polt's going to fly that command center over. Start his 5th command center. Get the planetary fortress rolling up. Prepare himself for the long haul here of a big bio game. He's got to be careful, though. This is another situation where Cham, as his creep starts to spread out a little bit, could go for the flank. The Lings, Banes, and Hydras are going to come off creep, which should give Polt the best possible engagement that he can get. But The siege tanks shooting in both directions, not able to maximize their splash. The Marines, however, once those Banelings are gone, completely rip through the Zerglings. And now he's on creep, so the Banes have a little bit of a better chance to get something done. He lifts up, he pulls back. Oh, another drop inside of the main base while the Liberator sieges onto the natural. 6+ drones killed here. He sees the hive is finished. That's fantastic intel. He lifts up here. That very risky lift up into an 18 hit point medevac, but information is worth a lot. Hydra's right click on the medevac and it is dead. So Polt applying constant pressure, but not able to break Cham in any capacity just yet. Supplemental orbitals for additional income, always nice. His 3-3 started a little bit late, but so he's going to be on even upgrades soon. His upgrade advantage is about to go. That's a lot of units spilling in here from Cham. A ton of Hydras, but if the Banelings are all gone and a few of these tanks can continue to shoot, Jamie, just maybe he can try to punch through this, but it looks like the answer is no. You damn, son. That arc was so good. So good. So spread out was that Zerg army against the tanks. Just really not enough for Polt to be able to get through that. And this style for Terran has been a classic one over the ages, over the last 10 years. We're in StarCraft 2's 10th year. Isn't that insane to think about? Isn't that insane? And we have finally seen a bit of a petering out on the bio side of things. He's trying to clear that creep, trying to push it back. But really, he's buying... Oh, no. Well, barely buying himself a little bit of space. This drop's going to get pushed back as well. And Cham just says, yeah, I haven't taken any big blows yet. Those drone kills earlier were nice, but 13 workers killed this game is not something that a Zerg is gonna lose sleep over. I think any Zerg would be happy for the total number of drones lost in a game to be 13. So Polt's gonna need to make a transition soon against the Hive Tech, and it is a Ghost Academy. He's continuing to double pump siege tanks. Broodlord's not as popular because of Thors, but the Terran is playing bio. You could still protect him with fungal and Banelings. You don't necessarily need to use the Infestors. A lot of Zergs have kind of like stepped away from Infestors. Although they are still very good with Neural Parasite against mech and etc. But the range got reduced, right? So there's a whole bunch. And Terran versus Zerg right now is a matchup that is just going through so much discussion, debate. Lots of people salty about Thors. Lots of people salty about having to build Thors and not being able to play bio as much. Those battlecruiser builds into mech are extremely good, especially with a bunch of Thors, but Polt wants to play it like it's 2016. He's going into the Ghost production. We got Neo Steel Armor, high-sec auto tracking to follow up the 3-3. A massive army moving out of the northwest with 6 siege tanks, but a double drop inside of the main is going to pull most of the forces here of Cham. You say most forces. Damn, son, he's got 106 supply. 30 supply to deal with the drop. Easy. Now this hatchery gets canceled, which is nice. These siege tanks are going to come up here, and he should get a cancel. So he's trying to contain. He's trying to contain Cham now. This Liberator sieges, and it's going to get a few drones before it dies. This force gets cleaned up. Polt trying to make his way up towards the north side of the map. This Liberator tragically going to run into some Hydras. Not able to kill him, so that's nice. He's trying to add a bunch of Ghost Academies, but these Banelings are going to click on that planetary and erase it. And also just canceling a few of those Ghost Academies. Polt would like to take a trip to Nuke City. Nuke City. And that is going to be a dangerous place for the Zerg. If the Terran can start dropping nukes everywhere, we have known that to be a good strat for slowing them down. But we've also known 69 drones, a lot of Banelings here. 37 Banelings. We've also known that if you go too heavy on the Ghosts and you lose that ability to deal with the splash, the Banelings become so hard to stop. Now he's trying to go for a flank on both sides. Blinding Clouds onto the siege tanks. Only one of them able to shoot. The Banelings coming through. Lings get the tanks. Banes push the bio up into the medevacs. Does he have enough for an abduct? He does. He can pull the medevacs. Get over here. Whoosh. Erased. Absolutely deletes that drop. This Overlord, by the way, makes me nervous. I think about Nidus Worms. I think about late game Nidus Worms. And I'll be honest with you. It makes my anxiety flare up. Like somebody just replied to my Reddit comment. And I'm like, oh my God, what happened now? Why do I have notifications? This doesn't happen. Oh, Medivac's trying to run away. Get a fusion core. Get the Medivac speed upgrade. I don't know why I'm saying that. Whoa, our first nuke is coming, and Polt slipped it in. A nice little spot that the Zerg player may not have expected. He's like, where is it? Where is it? Oh, no! No! Okay, that could have been way worse. He's going to drop another one. Oh, that's a really good spot to hide that ghost. At the same time, this army's going to the northwest, and Overlord is taking a proverbial dump, or a literal one, you could say, over where this command center would like to land. As he is pushing his way through. What a game we've got here. What a series. What a game. God bless America, because this is the American qualifier. Keepo. American Cup. Now, another thing that we do see a lot of Zerg players do in these types of situations, he doesn't have the energy, but some of these medevacs are getting low. Could use Parasitic Bomb. The Ghosts are going to go for the snipes. Throws an EMP onto the Vipers, but the tanks need to hit the Banelings as the Hydras continue to run forward. That's right, I'm a terrible observer. It's fine. But he's got plenty of energy on the Ghosts. As long as he can keep them protected, he can snipe the Hydras. And so far, he cleans out a ton of the Zerg supply, but all of his forces are not together. He's going to need to retreat. His conclave of orbital commands are going to be in a little bit of danger as the Hydras bust through here. There's the Ghost going for the snippy snipes. There's no Overseer with this army, so when the Ghosts cloak, it's all pew-pews. It's pew-pews all the way down. So these Hydras do finally get stopped. We've got another man in the danger zone, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, I'm not a good enough observer. I couldn't catch the nuke. Sorry, Funka. He's not watching this. So he could get himself a nice little base cleanup. Are these drones going to make it? Oh, yeah, he only gets 2. He cancels a few of the units in production, though. As Cham is just cranking him out. Is Cham larva blocked? Yeah, he doesn't have a lot of larva. He's only got 3 at the moment, building 16 lings. I think that's becoming a bit of a problem for him. He's only got 2 queens. And now we start to see, actually, this is where Cham is just falling apart. He's got all this money. He cannot spend it. Literally, he just doesn't have the larva to spend it. Meanwhile, Polt is dropping nukes left, right, and center like he's Gandhi. And this is going to just get more and more difficult to deal with. Another big nuke. Yes, you can pull the drones, but they're not mining that whole time. That's APM. That's attention that has to be spent. That goes at 14 kills, is on the run. He is finally found. Meanwhile, another drop comes to the right side, and Polt is doing it. I mean, I really like the position that Cham was in, but at some point, all the queens died, and none of the hatcheries are being injected. This isn't Brood War, bruh. Yeah, he just doesn't. He can't use his macro mechanic. And without that, I don't know. Yeah, this queen's like, he's like, all right, go inject here, go inject there. Here a queen, there a queen, everywhere a queen, queen. Now he's in trouble. Now he's in trouble. We got a lot of units moving around the map, but I mean, Polt's production has been on point. Given a long enough period of time, Cham can recover a lot of it, but Polt has already solidified a lot of places. The building armor planetary can take a lot of damage, but that's what the Banelings are for. Sends the lings around the back. He's going to erase this and kill the building command center. Meanwhile, Polt pushing along the northwest side. What's the Bane count at? 8. Larva count so low. He's building 28 Zerglings, but when you're building so many lings, you see he started his massive gas bank, and just where do you spend the resources? How do you effectively do it when Polt is just everywhere? And this is giving me a little bit of those old Polt vibes. This mini-map has just been chaos all game long, literally taking every opportunity to bring those nuclear warheads down upon his opponents, and also sieging from the high ground on top of these hatcheries. This base is dead. Super dead. This drop continuing to pull the army around on the northeast side, and this nuke is gonna kill. Honestly, killing Larva is a pretty good play at this point because he doesn't have any. Oh my god, he killed the pool. He killed the pool! Wait, did he kill the Bane nest too? I think it was rebuilt. Oh no, he's gonna lose it again. Well, Focus the Bane nest. No, okay. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. You got stuff to do. That's okay. He's got 2 nukes available in his arsenal. He's going to drop another one and try to make it rain on this center base. This one should get denied. Yeah. Oh, no! Ah! Okay. That's high-level commentary for you, ladies and gentlemen, right there. Phew. I tried to time it. I failed. The tanks are staggered off creep over here, but a massive, massive concave from Cham. Hitting from the north, hitting from the south, hitting from the north and the south. However, he does still have the ghost here trying to snipe away at the Hydralisks, but too many overseers. So Polt is going to be forced to retreat. But let's not forget, Cham just has not, he's got quite the resource imbalance. Zerg is a race that has gas-heavy units that are useful to some degree. And I get that Cham doesn't feel like using infestors, but you've got 4,000 gas. Like, I don't know what to tell you. He's got so much gas, the United States military is about to knock on his front door. Okay? I know building Zerglings is fun, but he has not been able to put together something that can effectively deal with this with what he has been given. And Polt, well, he's got so many orbital commands. He's got infinite money. His resource, look at that income tab. You see that? Gaze in despair. Is that another nuke? Where are all of the nukes going anymore? I don't know. This is difficult. This is difficult to follow. Look at this. He's like, yeah, you want to try to slowly move Hydras up this ramp towards me? Breh. Breh. Because the Hydralisks are good, but I mean, he has not been able to secure additional bases. Main's mined out. Natural, just about mined out. He's got units in there. Third base mined out. Fourth, very low. Other fourth, mined out. This top left base and this center left base that he's trying to get are his only 2 options for economy. I'm not even sure it's worth nuking this. 700 minerals left. I mean, I guess it's always worth it if he gets all the drones, but here we go. Gets himself a nice 8-kill nuke. Liberator's going to siege up over this base. The medevac drop is still in northeast. Baneling nest is destroyed, so no more banelings can be made. He needs to get another one. This Liberator is already racking up the kills. Rack him up, rack him up, rack him up. And oh, the army finally pulled out of position, means that the last real mining base is under fire. Cham has to come up and try to defend against it, but there is a line of siege tanks off creep. GG is called. Polt breaks his enemy.